There is no conclusion to this story. It began a long time ago and yet it persists. There once was an empire that stretched far and wide. Its might was unmatched, its strength never seen before. Its dominance was constantly displayed. Today the story has changed somewhat. The empire has eroded from within and no longer is it able to stand on its own 2 feet. Its fate is inevitable. Soon the earth will rumble under the heels of the angry mobs. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Today we have an issue to discuss and we are talking about the economy. This is the global economy that we're looking at. I want to focus on countries like the United States, like China. We're going to talk about others as well in here. I wanted to show you that what we are seeing is not geographically isolated because it seems like most of the economies around the world are suffering from the same disease. Let's get into it right away. Just to give you an update on what's happening with the store closures, this has been updated again out of CoreSite, looking at 8567 store closures, 3486 store openings. I'm always bringing you the most recent data. This is it right from CoreSite.com. This number continues to increase. The projections are 12,000 by year end. I'm not sure if it's going to hit that high, but certainly we are headed in that direction. We've seen what's happened with the car industry, not looking good on many levels. This happens to be about GM. Thousands of Canadian auto industry workers have been furloughed with more temporary layoffs coming as negotiations on a new labor contract between GM and the United Auto Workers drags into its 5th day. So we are looking at thousands of people that are being laid off. Now you might think to yourself, well, you know what? If I take the total amount of people that are employed and divide it by this amount of people, then it's very small, it's infinitesimal. But you can't do it like that. You can't think about things on such a scale because it doesn't make sense. You have to look at it more specifically in the auto industry and then the rate at which this is increasing month after month, year after year. It's not looking good. This happens to be related to Canada, but of course we have seen this in the United States, we've seen this in Europe and India and China. All of the countries seem to be suffering when it comes to the car markets. The auto industry is taking a beating. Well, also, we have the financial industry taking a hit. We saw, of course, what happened with Deutsche Bank. Commerce Bank is right up there as well. Commerce Bank is planning to cut 4,300 jobs as part of a new strategic plan. That sounds pretty good, right? It's a strategic plan. It's a strategy, and it just so happens to leave 4,000 people without work. That's not exactly the strategy that they were hoping for. They also mention in here that they are hiring people as well. I wanted to make that very clear to you. But essentially, after the whole merger between Deutsche Bank and Commerce Bank fell through, both of these companies had to go back to the drawing board to figure out what to do at this point. This makes it very clear out of Reuters that there are 4,300 job cuts, but they plan on adding 2,000 jobs in, quote, strategic areas, whatever that means. They're cutting 5.7% of their workforce. I do believe it is significant because if you look at it as an issue with Commerce Bank, okay, it's 5.7% of the people. But understand that all of the major banks have eliminated people and will eliminate more people in the coming months. They have already suggested that this is happening, but people focus on these little data points, which if you take them by themselves aren't that significant, but when you start adding them all together, they are very significant. So we have to look at it and put all the pieces together. Vanguard's planned robo poised to shake up the automated investing. This is talking about an issue that is going on right now in the financial industry, but in others as well, where robotics and automation are replacing jobs. You must understand, this is the intention. Whether or not it's happened, that's a whole different story, but you need to look at it specifically with all of these companies and the reason why they are doing this. They all make it very clear. We are trying to replace workers. That's the whole point, because they want to increase productivity. There are many people who say that this will not decrease the amount of people in the workforce. I simply disagree, and you can see that the actual facts, if you look at them the way that they are right now today, it is a documented fact. These companies are trying to increase productivity, and they do that by eliminating some of the workforce and replacing it with, in this case, happens to be robo advisors. Okay, so you're gonna go and click a few buttons on your screen, and that's going to invest the money for you. Why do you need human intervention for the average financial advisor? They do not need to exist. They can be replaced with a computer program. Absolutely. The average person clicks just a couple buttons on their screen. Why can't you do that on your own? You could do it from your app. You could do it from a website. That's exactly where they're going. Vanguard is massive, and you could see that they are clearly going in this direction. Okay, so these two states lost the most manufacturing jobs in the past 12 months. We're talking about Pennsylvania, which is home to steel mills. The number of factory positions fell by 8,000. And in Wisconsin, the loss was just over 5,000. Not very good, because this is what we have been told for years now, that manufacturing is coming back. Everything's going to be fixed. Have no fear. It's all going to be taken care of. But we have yet to see that. The suggestion that manufacturing is coming back is simply no more than a lie. You can't ever bring manufacturing back without some fundamental change. They could bring it back if that was done by robots, if it was done by some sort of automated process, but not with humans. With the cost of healthcare and employees' pay rising the way it is, minimum wage, let's say, there's no way that the average company is going to be able to produce a product that is affordable to the consumer. Yes, you can have certain things, like if you buy something made in the United States that is a good quality performance machine, you're gonna pay top dollar for it, and you hope that this is something that will last a long period of time, and you're also supporting your own economy. That's great. However, people are cash strapped. A lot of times they are making the choice that is simply more affordable to them. They would love to support their own economy. However, look, if I just buy this one here, it's half the price, so I'm gonna go with that. This is unfortunate right now today, the way that things have come to be, and unfortunately it only seems to be getting worse, not better. Michigan's 48,000 state workers notified of potential layoffs amid budget battle. This is from September 16th. I wanted to show it to you because it was all part of this video. However, I'm not sure if this is actually going to go through. We will see what happens. Not good, because you see these government workers, they get paid a lot of money. They have their pensions. They have what would be considered good jobs in general. And unfortunately, a lot of people are going to lose out in the future as they have to cut costs left, right, and center. Same thing's going to happen with pensions. The same thing is going to happen with a lot of institutions that exist today. They need to be eliminated, yet you will actually get less as a result. It's not going to be cutting so that you can keep your existing services and entitlements. They will be cutting those, and they will certainly be having to let a lot of people go. It's just the way it is. It's very difficult for China's economy to maintain 6% growth, according to the premier of China himself. Very difficult to maintain 6%. So basically right now, you can bet you're going to see less than 6% growth. This is how they are willing to acclimate the public to what's coming. OECD cuts growth outlook to post-crisis low. This is always projected higher than where it actually turns out, nearly 100% of the time. But this is what they want to do. They always project it at a certain level, hoping that it will get there. And unfortunately, it never does, because of the way that these governments and central banks are handling things. There's more detail in here. I'm just going to touch on a couple points really quickly. Our fear is that we are entering an era where growth is stuck at a very low level. Governments should absolutely take advantage of low rates to invest in the future now, so that this sluggish growth doesn't become the new normal, and they want them to borrow, and that is so unfortunate, because when they overextend themselves, they run into problems. Look at what happened in every previous crisis. They get in over their heads, and suddenly we are left with a crisis. Well, that's all for this video. If you found it informative, hit that like button. When you hit the like button, you are supporting this channel, so I do appreciate it very much. If you want to build a business, if you want to make money, if you want to learn about passive income, I created a 100% free e-course for everybody to learn how to sell on Amazon. You might not be interested in Amazon specifically, but you can at least learn how this all works. You can learn the strategies that I teach in here absolutely for free. Check it out at the AmazonGPS.com. If you want the financial education you were not taught in school, these 2 books have everything you need from top to bottom, A to Z, talking about the 4 asset classes, how to profit, the history, the foundation, all of that is in the link in the description. If you want the audiobook, that's available at themoneygps.com. Hang on a second, hold on. Have you seen this video about the Federal Reserve? It is so important for you to understand what's happening at this time. Click on it and I will see you there.